In this video, I want to practice solving multi-step word problems and also showing you some different strategies to add and subtract numbers. So, first I'm going to read the word problem. A donut shop makes a total of 485 donuts. If they sell 140 of them Monday and 155 of them Tuesday, how many donuts do they still have to sell? So I'm going to remember my cubes strategy. And the first thing that I'm going to do is circle the numbers, the important numbers. A donut shop makes a total of 485 donuts. If they sell 140 of them Monday and 155 of them Tuesday, how many donuts do they still have to sell? Okay, so I've circled the important numbers. Now I go to the U, which means underline the question. So the question is, how many donuts do they still have to sell? The B stands for boxing the important words that will help me to solve the problem and help me to know which operations to use. A donut shop makes a total of 485 donuts. If they sell 140 of them Monday and 155 of them Tuesday, how many do they still have to sell? Okay, so now I look at the E, and the E is for eliminate any extra information. Mostly it's talking about numbers that would confuse you. I don't really see any extra information here. So the other part of the E is to write an equation before we try to solve it. So again, I'm going to read it. A donut shop makes a total of 485 donuts. If they sell 145 of them Monday and 155 of them Tuesday, how many donuts do they still have to sell? So they have altogether 485. That's what they're starting with. And then they sell, so that means they take away 140. So we'll have to take away 140. And then after we take that away, we have to take away another 155. So we're subtracting first 140, and then we're subtracting 155. Now I'm just going to put parentheses around this to separate those two things and to show that I'm going to do this one first. That's going to give us, I'll put a D at the end to stand for how many donuts do they have left. And this is an equation, and this letter is standing for the missing information. And you'll see that a lot. It doesn't matter what letter they use. I just put a D for donut. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some ways to subtract. I know one of the ways that we like is to do the place value chart. And I have hundreds, tens, ones. And I start with what I have is 485. I'm just going to write this on the side, 485. So in the hundreds, I always do little squares to represent the hundreds. So there's 4 of them. Tens, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens, because 80 is 8 tens, and there's 5 ones. Okay, so I have 485. Now I first need to get rid of 140. I need to subtract 140. So I look at the hundreds place. I need to get rid of 100. 4 tens, 3, 4, and so now I have 340, but I still need to get rid of 155. Now the first thing I look at, I see I need ones, tens, and hundreds. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5 ones, so just cross all of them out, or I could have gone like this. 5 tens. Oh, I don't have 5 tens. Well, what I can do is I can take this 100 and bring it over here and change it into 10 tenths. Okay, so I just took this 100 and brought it over here to make it 10 tenths. So it's gone from here. I'll put an X here. Now I'm going to take away the 5 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have nothing in the ones, and I have to take away 100. So I have 100 left. 190. Sorry about that. 190. So she needs to sell 190 donuts. Well, that's just one way of doing it. So I want to show you another way of subtracting. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple different ways, because it's always good to have several ways to do something in case one way, confuses you. You can try something else. So I'm going to write that problem again up here. And I'm going to try to write it so that you can actually see it this time. Okay, and again, I do the parentheses to show that I'm going to do this part first. Okay? All right, so 485. This is the number line method. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to write my 485, and I'm going to take away 140. Okay, so I'm going to take away 140. I know that if I take away 100, if I take away 100 from 4, that's going to give me 385. So I took 100 away, so I'm at 385. Okay, I still need to take away 40. So I look at the tens place. If I take 4 from that, if I do minus 40, I'd have 345. It's going to give me 345. Okay? Now, let me just do this, because maybe taking it away, that 40, maybe you're not there yet, and that's okay. It's okay. Okay, so again, I'm going to take away 140. So the reason I do the 100 is because if I just look at this hundreds place and I just take 1 from it, I know that that's going to get me to 385. And I still have 40 that I need to take away. And say when I told you, well, just put the minus 40 here, maybe that confused you. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take away minus 10. That gets me to 375. Another minus 10. That gets me to 365. Another minus 10. 355. And apparently I should have left more room on my line. And that gets me to 345. Okay, so 485 minus 140 equals 345, but I still need to take away the 155. So this part I just did on the number line. So I'm to 345 now. Okay, I'm to 345 now, and I have to take away 345 minus 155. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. That's my answer. That's going to be the D. So I'm going to do what I did before, and I'm going to look at this 100, and I'm going to go ahead and take away 100. That will give me 245. I still have to take away 55. Okay? So let's do this. Let's take the 50 away first. So we'll go minus 10 is 235. Minus another 10 is 225. Minus another 10, so that's 10, 20, 30, is 215. Minus another 10 is 205. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40. Why don't we get rid of that 5? That might make it easier. Minus 5 equals 200. And then I need minus 10 more is 190. So 345 minus 155 equals 190. Now, I know these number lines might look a little confusing, and if they are a little confusing, stick with the place value, or I'll show you one more way. Okay, again, I'm going to do 485 minus 140, and then after I do that, I have to take away the 155. All right. So this time I'm going to set it up this way, and I'm going to use expanded form. So what that means is I take this 4 and it means 400, and this is 80, and this is 5, minus, okay, I'm going to, this 140, 1 in the hundreds, 40, and there's nothing in the ones. Okay, so I have 5, take away 0 is 5. 80 minus 40, if I just think of the tens place and I think 8 take away 4, I know 8 take away 4 is 4, so 80 take away 40 is 40. And same thing with the hundreds. If I just look at the hundreds, 4 take away 1 is 3, so 400 take away 100 is 300. So this 485 minus 140 is 345. But we can't forget, we got to take this 155 away. So we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, so I'm going to break apart with using place value, expanded form. 3 is 300. The 4 is 40. The 5 is 5. Take away, the 1 is 100. The 5 is 50. The 5 is 5. Okay, so I'm taking away 5, take away 5. If I take 5 from 5, I have nothing. Uh-oh, I can't take 50 from 40. Well, here's what I'll do. I'm going to go over to this 300, and just like I did, remember how I did this here, and I took that 100 and I made it into 10 tens? Well, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take 100 from this. That means it's going to become a 200. I'm going to add that 100 here. This becomes 140. Okay? So now I'm looking at the 40 take away the 5. 40 take away 5 is 9. So 140 take away 50 is 90. 200 minus 100 is 100. 100 plus 90 plus 0, 1 in the hundreds, 9 in the tens, 0 in the ones. Again, she needs to sell 190 donuts. Okay, I know this wasn't neat, got a little messy, but the point is I wanted to show you that you could use several different ways: your place value chart, your number lines, which at first might seem a little confusing, but we're going to practice it, or you could use expanded form. Okay, so remember, there's always more than one way that you can solve a problem. You need to find the way that is the easiest for you, and that might change according to the numbers in the problem as well. Okay, the next video I will have is going to be about adding using different strategies.